to you live and direct from Viva Las Vegas. And here we are living in Las Vegas. But really, here we are living in 2025. And so many people don't understand that these are nothing more than just tools. And these tools, my face is so oily, but these tools are to benefit so that we can communicate across the, I guess, diaspora, across the universe, because we're outreaching and sowing seeds. But when people don't understand, they're operating blindly. And I do mean blindly, because we all need to understand that this is just merely a tool, and how you live your everyday life matters, and what you choose to focus on, it matters. And if we're not focusing on what's really going on, well, it's understandable, simply because so many years have gone by, and then we've watched people accomplish and fail and accomplish and fail. But what is that failure? Well, quite frankly, you're in these little groups in high school or in elementary school, and socialization skills are critical. And then you go through different phases by being engaged in things that perhaps you never thought you would have been. But if you're an expert at whatever you do, then let's just understand it's you in trials and tribulations. Well, until you're ready to fight the battle, don't worry. You'll just continue to go on and on. And what is the message in the first place? The message is that failure is just not an option. But what is special education? You have no idea until you've been included in the process. But the process makes the difference, boo. It makes a difference that you know who you are. Just understand that all children make progress. All children can learn something. It matters what your child is learning. But it matters more that you understand that they've already become experts at the learning, in the learning capacity or the learning tree or whatever. Just understand failure is just not an option. But if you are failing or your child is struggling, then it is up to you, because nobody's going to bring it to you. No one's going to tell you that your child's not making it. Good morning, good morning. Thank you so much. Favorite Popeyes meal? I can say I really, it is just chicken, right? And we don't even know if we're really eating chicken anymore. We don't know anything. What do you really know? Because we get these telephones. It is a box, boo. And everything is in the box. And then when you get online, it's a whole different matter. Where you be at? I be here. That was Bruce Mobile, right? Hello, hello, and welcome, welcome. The only way we're going to change this game, what is a game, is to choose to participate, to choose to step up, and to choose to understand that it is we, the people, but who are we? Understand, we are who we are because we've chosen to be that. It's been too many years since slavery. My goodness, I just wouldn't understand what it would be like to be a slave, because I just ain't never been one. But I can tell you that the circumstances that I've lived under certainly demonstrate that there are just issues in America. As I was working for Los Rios Community College in the mailroom, and I had even students that were working under me. And they're still being successful because they're learning how to survive. Survival is key. But it's unfortunate that we have so many people that just haven't made it. What do I mean, haven't made it? Public education is mandatory, but if you don't get the certificate, I'm sorry. That certificate of completion, that high school diploma, nobody's trying to hire you. So you have to have that little high school diploma. And now you could go back to school online, or you could go back to school in a skill center, in an adult skill center, adult education. Some states still pay for adult ed. But believe me, they are vastly moving away from paying for adult education, because you should have gotten it the first time around. But if you didn't, like so many people, just don't graduate high school, I'm just trying to understand. Those are the ones that, well, I wish I knew what you said, but thank you so much, Ms. Santos. Yes, thank you. Um, I don't know what you've said, but hey, it's real. In America, life is about who you are and what you've chosen to be. We have no idea, we really don't, about the ability to accomplish or to move forward in life. We just don't know because it matters what you think. And if you think that you can't do it, boo, you can't do it. I don't care. Even in worst situation or the best situation, once you say that you cannot, I promise you, you cannot. No matter what you do, you just cannot because the thought process has killed it off. That's real. But people just really don't understand. How do we do it? How do we continue to survive? I have 3 sons. All 3 of my sons are adults. Yep, I have one that's 41, one that's 39, and then I have a 28-year-old. Huge gap. But hey, when you get caught out there, you just get caught. But then when you accept an obligation, you just accept it. But I promise you, if you're an individual and that part of the gift is yours and you walked away, I had teachers who inspired me. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. And, I think we need to think more about what education really is because it should be the development around your personal strengths. And they can figure that out, believe me. They know exactly where your strengths are, but then you have to be willing to understand that your gifts, to whom much was given, much is expected. And so we're still waiting on the entertainers that have been elected to represent. But I don't know how entertainers can actually represent you, but I see a few that are doing some real work. I mean, after Kendrick, what can we say? It was real. But then to understand that Beyonce is just singing, but all of her children, I mean, you shouldn't have to be born into this stardom. But for whatever reason, people are being birthed into it. Now, I can't say how they hang on to it after their birth or after their parents' glorious days. I mean, just look at Diana Ross. And then she has some famous daughters, but I mean, how many people in entertainment? It's just real, right? It is so real. It's real and real unfortunate. But I came today because it is Mother's Day, and I'm a mother of 3. I have 3 sons, and I have 1 granddaughter, and that's from my oldest son, 41. And she's just beautiful. But I never had any girls, and girls are just different. She's full of personality, and hey, maybe I could provide. People are always looking for people to work, but when you go on to these online businesses, and they get you because they give you a little stipend to start with, and then they want to coach you into giving your money, when really it's not. I don't know what it is, but something that I chose not to continue to participate in because wasn't really like a job anyway, because I couldn't see what I was actually doing or what it was actually doing. Marketing. This is just a tool. So understand what I'm saying about the tools. There's like Podbeam, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's TikTok, it's just nothing but tools. But the deal is, well, I think you better know when to hold 'em, know when to fold them, but know when to walk away and know when to run. You never count your money while you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting. Hey, when the deal is done, and the deal's never done, because it is we, the people, who are obligated. We're just obligated to do what? To ensure adequacy happens for the least of us. And unfortunately, I believe that was lost in the development of every process because it was always supposed to be about the youngest and the neediest of children. Everything in America has forged up and come up through, development about what? The youngest and the neediest. And now we have all these services that somehow everybody can't take advantage of. And I'm saying, I think you lost your mind. I had a great kid. And the military was awesome and not a wealthy job, but retirement sustains living expenses. Of course, Anthony, my ex-husband, was in the military. Unfortunately, I didn't make it past the 7 years. So, you don't make it past the 10 years, you don't get the retirement. But he married somebody who was 38 when he was older. And it's unfortunate he didn't get blessed from it because he married somebody who was 2 years older than his son. And I'm saying, oh, his son is 38. So that woman would be 39, 40 right now. And he broke his neck. And that little thing down there just didn't work anymore. And I'm saying, I just remember the boot coming towards my face. And I'm saying, gotcha, boot. Because I never went back. I mean, I stayed as long as I could stay, meaning that I went through the marriage and family counseling and all of that. But when the counselor told me that he wasn't being honest with himself, she told me to leave him. And I did because I value my life. And anybody who would not value my life, well, hey. And then, well, I have 3 sons. And then I tried one more time after him. It's unfortunate that that person was already married and didn't honor his marriage vows. But that's not my problem. It was my problem. I should have investigated more. But once I did, it was a little bit too late, but that's okay. I raised my last child by myself. But of course, he knows who his father is. And that was my only obligation, was to introduce him to his father. And he did meet him. Now, understand that in life, it is up to you. But, I'm going to talk about that military lifestyle because, my dad was in the Air Force too, my stepfather. And he stayed married to my mother the whole time. He never got a divorce. And, but, they separated. And she had 3 children by him. But then, of course, she had me and my sister also. But he was a good man. I mean, he taught me to research everything prior to engaging in the process. He told me to research everything. So all my kids are successful. Yeah, they all graduated with a high school diploma. And I know how important that is because believe me, in 1976 when I was graduating, my cousin was graduating too. It's unfortunate that they told her she didn't meet the graduation requirements, but then I really didn't understand what it was because she never passed history. She took it 4 times. Twice in the summer and twice during the school year. But the problem is that she was raised in the South, down there in Mississippi. And her understanding of history was a lot different than ours because we were in the military. So, we just had all the benefits. But people who were stuck in the real world, they're just broken. That's what I can say. And, your retirement sustains you, but the skills that you learned in the military will also sustain you because I can promise you they built out on what you were already good at and you just became expert at what you do. But you can't be afraid of is to sow those seeds and help others become more sustainable because so many people just don't know the way. The song, do you know the way to San Jose? I'm going back one day. And she did a great song because this was talking about her experience. And it was saying that, she had lived in San Jose and had moved to LA, but then knew what was going on in San Jose and then understood more about herself when she left San Jose and went to LA. But what is it that you know about yourself? And in the military, transitions you so you're never going to get stuck in one place. Newark Airport seems to have, they're having some telecommunication problem. This technology thing. and the control that outside agencies can have and affect your business. Understand that's fucking with the livelihood also. Because you just never know. And you don't know. And so nothing is safe anymore. Nothing is secure anymore. We don't know anything anymore. And because the current administration never wanted to follow any of the rules, he was the ideal candidate for the other part of America. See, they got the Democrats and the Republicans, and people really play out on the democracy, but we don't have a democracy because we're not working together. You see, Boo, there's no togetherness there. So we're working separately. And it's unfortunate to understand that Project 2025 was just a project that led them to what? Understand that perhaps they were what? Successful. And they too could win the White House and win the country. No, Donald did not win the majority of the country. The issue was that so many people chose not to vote. Life is up. That's what's going on. We're just talking about it. This week is advancing technology. Hey, you just can't you can't click on anything, and you have to teach your kids not to click on things that are alleging things. I keep on getting, once they get your bank information, they say this charge was made or that charge was made, and contact your bank, and they'll be contacting you. No, immediately, if there's a fictitious charge on your debit card, you're going to be notified from the bank because they want to know, hey, is that you over there spending that money? And I'm saying, I don't know if you can click on whatever. Oh, well, let's see what that means. Well, no, I only have one of those. And, the deal is that they told me that I had breast cancer, and I believed them. And I'm saying, oh, okay. Well, what should I do? And they told me it was the HER2 kind, And I'm saying, great. Somebody has a real issue, but they don't really understand that that's them looking like they have a mental problem. And I'm not going to hide any of your posts, because if you have a problem, that's on you, not me. And quite frankly, I'm not going to try to cover for it either. People don't understand that these are tools and devices that collect information about yourself, only yourself. And then it all goes to the cloud. And everything you do is stored in the cloud, waiting. I mean, do you understand what they're trying to do to Diddy right now? They're making him obligated or responsible for that kind of behavior that was going on in the industry, just like the Me Too issues or whatever happened in America. And I'm saying, it would have never happened. It wouldn't have been Me Too because I would have never done that. And I'm watching people who want you to come and stand up for them after what? After they've done the negative. And I'm saying, it's unfortunate that you what? That you're whatever. And, and the behavior. And when the behavior has been accepted for a long time, and you want to go punish one person, you don't want to hold the industry accountable. You want one person to accept responsibility for how this shit happens. And I'm saying no, because we could all watch whatever's on YouTube, educational and promotional and all of that, just like I'm here on YouTube. Or we could keep on watching what? Television, because it's the dysfunctional stuff that you're all keyed into. So many people have addictions to sex and all this other dysfunctional stuff. But once you've experienced it, boo, then you understand what it is. No, you didn't see my boobs because they're in there. They're covered. Yeah, but I do have some. I only have one. The other one is fake. Just for the appearance of people who want to look at people. And that's just real. So don't get shocked because they cut it off. But they did that a lot in Africa. Because in some of those movies, you see them, how they just dismember women. In other countries, women are like seen as second-class citizens, have no rights. But I understand the rights that I possess, and I utilize them. And like I said, this is nothing more than a tool. But this person who has a problem with boobs, well, like I said, he has a mental issue and should understand that everybody knows he has one. It's just real. But we all need to come together as it is 2024 and understand that unity doesn't exist in America. We're the mixing bowl, the salad bowl, the whatever. So many people are here from all of these different countries. And we're supposed to think. But when they're dividing them prior to them becoming citizens, I mean, we're supposed to have human rights, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, propaganda. Mm. Propaganda never hurt. Good news, anything negative. Don't understand why people love it. Because people need to go away on that fantasy. Fantasy Island. The plane. We all watched it. We watched Gilligan's Island. We had Search for Tomorrow, Young and the Restless. I mean, we watched all of. Well, if you think so, but it's just a color, and it is dark chocolate. That's what color I am. But a lot of people like dark chocolate. A lot of people don't like chocolate, and that's just real. But it really doesn't matter, because if you had a choice of colors, you know that song. If you had a choice of colors, which one would you choose, my brother? If there were no day or night, which would you prefer to be right? How long have you hated your white teacher? But who told you to love the black preacher? Hey, to respect your mother's women friend and share with black folks not of kin. Now people must prove to the people a better day is coming for you and for me. With just a little bit more education and love for our nation, we'll have a better society. And I just don't know about that anymore, about that better society thing. Because too many people have chosen not to participate. And I'm saying, what? That must be a young person. Rohit, J.A. is Wall. Rohit J. is Wall. I don't know. I don't know what that one is, but he's got a little mental problem. Because he wants to talk about breastises. And the real deal is, only women have them. But of course, men can have them artificially, implanted. But it doesn't make you a woman. Because only a woman can carry a child, and that's just real. So even if you get the change and everything, still get pregnant, still have a baby. But then, of course, they would have to take it out another way because you had that other part removed. And I'm saying, hey, wake up. It's 2024. No, it's not. It's 2025. And the question is, are you living? Is it you? And choice of colors really doesn't matter. I don't care what color you are, but if you're not an American, you'll understand why you don't advocate. I don't understand this thing. People want to leave America. They don't want to be in America anymore. And I'm saying, well, that's weird. Because you were only born in America. You know that song? Born in the USA. I was. But then maybe you didn't know that song. Maybe you just didn't understand that it is still you. And choices are everything. But everybody has a obligation towards this thing we call freedom, liberty, and justice. Understand that Malcolm and Martin and Megger, why do we celebrate those who have been, whose lives have been upended by other people's perceptions? And I'm saying enough is enough. We are all Americans. We're going to have to fight for this American dream. So the real deal is that what will you do in 2025? I am alive. I say, check out my podcast over there on Spotify. It is Parent Empowerment Half an Hour. You may love it. Or you can check out more of my lives here on YouTube, Darlene Anderson 1958, or Darlene Billups Anderson over there on Facebook. And that is B with the Billups. That's, B with the Billups Anderson. Then, of course, what can I say? Citizen Anderson on Podbean. But educate yourself. Choose to use these tools and start sowing seed so we can reap the harvest in 26. Y'all have a blessed day. Because if we don't choose, someone else will choose for us. So make that choice to stand and deliver. Y'all have a blessed day.